Remember that time you gave me COVID?
Fuck you, bro. I didn't mean to.
But you did, though.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know.
But you did.
I didn't know.
But you did, right?
I didn't know.
True or false, you did.
I did. And I apologize. I didn't know.
You did apologize.
I apologize to you and your girl.
You did. She never got it.
I thought she did.
Which was weird.
Damn, she's a genetic freak, bro. Just a
Fuck,
bitch, bro.
Yeah, she wears the pants. What can I say? She tells me if we get COVID, I'm like, see, mommy. I'm like Dom before Liv. I just like, whatever she says, yeah.
Crazy.
She's crazy, bro. But Dom is a different man now. And there's a lot of different shit going on.
I was the Intercontinental Champion, bro.
At this here Bad Blood. Potentially, I could see it. So
that shit was hilarious. I saw that clip on Raw.
Which one?
The one where Rhea beats the shit out of him.
Yeah. That shit was funny. That shit was funny as hell. That match looks interesting. And I mean, getting into all that, we're kind of making it a tradition here on the Eli and Luis Show, which I like this tradition of doing some official predictions the week of, right around the PLEs.
This is confirmed. Fucking.
I think, this is it, as far as I know. Like, the only match that I thought would have been added potentially was Sammy and Gunther. But it looks like that one's pretty solid, gonna be on a Raw episode. Yeah, so I think, and I mean, we've seen that the Triple H formula has been 5 matches in a PLE. That seems pretty consistent, so I don't see anything changing. The only thing that might change is if, like, a stipulation gets added. But I don't see it. At this point. Pretty much all of these matches are coming from Raw feuds. So unless they change something with like Nia Jax versus Bayley, which I don't see.
That's crazy.
I think this is it.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get into it. And speaking of, let's go ahead and start with the Women's Championship. And the reason I wanted to start here is because this is definitely the feud with the least build. Every other match has a very long-term storyline. Very, very long-term storyline. We're talking like months, if not years, for every other match.
Yep.
So this one is kind of the outlier in that sense, that it's a little
interesting,
underbooked in a way, you know? I'm curious.
She was injured, Bayley, though, for like a minute. No?
For a bit, yeah, she was out. First of all, I'm curious, let me get your thoughts on Nia Jax's title run thus far. How you feel about that? Because it was controversial when she first won it. Wasn't like the biggest fan favorite. So how have you felt with Nia Jax's title run?
I mean, she's been a good heel for the title.
I agree. I think she's been a really good champ. I think that her matches have been solid. I think her mic work is really good. The whole dynamic
she's supposed to be like that. I hate you and fucking...
Yeah, and she pulls it off well. And what I was going to say, I feel like the dynamic of adding in Tiffany Stratton and Pretty Deadly and all that into the mix has added, like, a lot of layers to her character and made for some extra interesting storylines with, like, is Tiffany going to cash in? Like, what's going to happen with all that shit? Which I think is something that people think might play out in this match. That's
what I
conversation I've seen there. So yeah, I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Do you think there could be a cash-in potential?
There's probably going to be a cash-in.
You think how what's a percentage chance you feel on this?
Probably like a 65% chance, bro.
Okay.
There might be like the closest tease, but like
I'm a little lower on it just because it's so early. I think it's like a 30 to 40% chance. Like, it could happen. I wouldn't be too surprised. But I think it's more likely that they wait a little. Maybe a tease. I could see a tease. But actually cashing in and going for it, just because they burnt the men's case so quick. And because they did the whole, like, merge thing with Tiffany's case, making it its own thing. I feel like this one... Tiffany feels like it could follow a similar thing with Damian, where, like, there's multiple times where it feels like, oh, this is going to be the night where she's going to cash in. And then for whatever reason, it doesn't happen. I feel like that could be the path that we're kind of ending up on there.
I don't know.
I don't
think she's going to cash in, bro.
This is one of those matches where I'm going to be honest, it's kind of tough to call. There's part of me that feels like Nia might retain because that continues the storyline with her and Tiffany. If you want to keep doing that shit, it kind of continues to build that rift with Bailey and Naomi, where it's like, oh, she won that match against Naomi to get the title shot, but then she didn't win the title. Like, I don't know. I feel like you get maybe some more interesting storyline possibilities. I
feel like they already built up the Nia and the Tiffany thing enough, bro.
But, bro, what you gotta understand with Triple H booking, what we've learned with watching Triple H over the last year or two is that, bro, this should be taking forever with this fool. We know that he's not the type to pull the trigger quickly on shit. So I feel like it's one of those things that could have a kind of slow burn, slow build up. I would be very surprised. Can I give you my conspiracy theorist tinfoil hat reasoning? I'd be, and no disrespect to anyone who's planning on attending the show or like the people of Atlanta, but I'd be really surprised to see a Money in the Bank cash in on a BPLE. Like, it's the same reason I probably wouldn't expect to see a title switch.
What's the next big PLE right now? Royal Rumble?
Survivor Series in, like, late November, early December, I'm pretty sure, is, like, the next big four. And then, yeah, after that, the Royal Rumble. So, yeah, I'd be surprised to see a cash-in this early and at a non-Big Four PLE. That's kind of my rationale for saying I don't think a cash-in is going to happen. And it's the same reason why I feel like it's more likely that Nia wins this match.
I don't know, man.
I think this could be a show where a lot of the baby faces end up going over. And so I think this also balances out the overall card and having at least one heel win to kind of keep you on your toes.
That's why I feel like the Tiffany starting catch is gonna happen, bro.
I don't see it, bro. It's so early. We'll see. This is now the like most interesting part of the match to me because like that's where we're most opposed. So before cash in, let's say fuck the cash in. Who do you think is gonna win the match?
Nia.
And you think Tiffany's gonna cash in on Nia? Okay. I think Nia's gonna win, but I think she's just gonna retain. I don't think any cash in. Let me go ahead and jot these predictions down so we can actually have everything on here. So Eli has Nia and Luis has Nia, but we will also note Tiffy time cash in win. So she's gonna win on the cash in. Yeah. Let's just to be clear. You think she? So we're leaving Bad Blood with Tiffany Stratton as the women's world champion. Okay. Shit, boy. That is interesting. Getting into a match with a lot more build behind it. A match that I'm really excited to see play out. I think the in-ring shit's going to be interesting. I think the storylines are going to be interesting. Damian versus Finn. This is like the two fucking... The hermanos... The Carnal.
It's just a regular match, no?
Yeah. So that's one of the things that's a little bit of a bummer. I would have liked to see a street fight, a Hell in a Cell, something. Yeah, because something where they could really beat the shit out of each other for real. But we'll see how this plays out. I could see this going one of two ways. It's such a cop-out, but like you could definitely justify having Damian go over and giving the Terror Twins another big win and allowing them to continue to dominate the Judgment Day. And you can also justify some Judgment Day shenanigans, them getting involved and having Finn win to kind of swing the momentum back in Judgment Day's favor. I think I would prefer the latter. I would prefer Finn to get that win just to continue this feud and have Damian and Rhea chasing something. That was what I came away from the last PLE kind of feeling a little underwhelmed by, is that Damian and Rhea have just continued to make the Judgment Day, the new Judgment Day, look so fucking soft. And it's just like, bro, I want to see them get a win at some point.
That's wild.
I want to see the Judgment Day do something at some point to make them a little more believable. So maybe just for that, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Finn Balor is going to get the win. Probably, almost certainly, with some sort of Judgment Day interference. But I'm just hoping Finn gets the win, dude. Finn to win.
That's wild.
How are we feeling? What you saying?
I mean, I low-key agree with you, honestly. Because there's no reason for Damien to win right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no storyline right now.
They've been killing it as it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they need it. You saying Finn?
Finn.
Finn it is, bro. Finn for the win.
Definitely some type of Judgment Day. Fucking the shit that they're talking about. The secret plan they have or whatever.
Yeah. So now where it gets interesting is the other Judgment Day Terror Twins showdown. Where we got Liv Morgan versus Rhea.
The Dom hanging from a cage.
With Dom, of course, hanging from a cage. I don't know why, but there's part of me that feels like they shouldn't split the results.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if one Judgment Day member wins, both should win. And if one Terror Twin wins, both should win. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it just wouldn't make sense for, like, Finn to beat Damien, for example, but then Rhea to beat Liv.
So
Like,
you have to feel like Liv's gonna win?
because I already said that I feel like Finn is gonna win, I feel like somehow the Shark Tank shit backfires, or again, like there's some Judgment Day involvement or a distraction or something. Yeah, I do think like fuck. It maybe makes more sense for Liv to get the win here. I think I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan.
I'm probably gonna go with Rhea.
Yeah? So what's the rationale for Rhea winning? What's your explanation there?
There's gonna be like some type of split between the Terror Twins. I feel like Damien's probably gonna feel some type of way and shit.
Interesting. You think this early into their run as kind of just a duo faction that it could already be split up this soon?
Not split up, but probably like a break in that.
Just probably a bit of tension?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I could see that, I guess.
No, probably she loses it again at Survivor Series, I'm feeling like.
Interesting.
You never know, bro.
The only thing that makes me disagree is the fact that, like I said, I feel like it wouldn't make as much sense to have them split the results. I feel like if you have the Judgment Day win, the Judgment Day should just win.
Okay.
Because it helps the storyline overall of Terror Twins versus Judgment Day. I just feel like splitting the results, then it's kind of mixed. Because like you said, like, I feel like it brings like just some conflict into...
So what could happen during the Rhea the fucking Liv match?
Well, you could still do some sort of Judgment Day interference. Like, it's not like they're gonna disappear after the other match. I'm not sure which is gonna be first or second, so they could interfere in both. And like I said, I think the Shark Tank thing, the Shark Cage thing, could like somehow come back to backfire. Like if Dom somehow escapes, or if he somehow uses the fucking, I don't know how, but the cage to like fuck with the match, or has something that he like sneaks in up there and like throws like a weapon down to Liv or something. Like, just because he's gonna not be able to get in the ring, I do still think there are ways he could get involved in. So I don't know. I think, or just the distraction of like Rhea wanting to try and get fucking Dom out of there, like wanting to beat him up in there or something, and that gives Liv an opening to do something. Like,
I don't know. I feel like that's not gonna be a distraction for her. I don't feel like that's gonna be a distraction for her.
I mean, she don't fuck with Dom. We'll see. I see what you're saying, but I just think that there are many ways that it could be a screwy finish where Rhea gets protected, but Liv gets the win. We'll see. I think, like I said, my biggest rationale is that I just would be surprised if they split the results. It could happen. I would just be surprised, because I feel like with the Terror Twins especially, because there's only two of them and they're both involved in big matches.
Yeah.
If one wins and one loses, I feel like you're just inherently kind of making one of them look like shit while the other one gets the big win. Like if Rhea gets the big win over Liv and finally has her kind of big revenge moment, but then Damien doesn't, I feel like that's going to cause some type of conflict there.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think that's what they're looking to do yet. Because they just literally started the whole Terra Twins shit like a month ago. It hasn't been that long that they've been like just a duo on their own. I feel like there's more you can get out of that before you start to plant the seeds of them having some friction. I just think it's a little early. We'll see, though. That's an interesting one. We'll have to see how that shit plays out. I will be very curious to see who ends up right there. Let's go ahead and we'll do Roman and Cody versus Solo and Jacob. I guess just because I feel like this one we know who's gonna win. If we're just looking at it from that perspective, who's gonna win?
It's kind of easy answer, but do you think can maybe turn?
Nah, bro. You don't have those
Roman
two
turn?
guys in a match and they lose. Like, they're the two biggest names in the company. It's just not gonna happen.
Do you think they're gonna win and then that fool's gonna spear him or some shit?
The only thing I'm curious about is, is there gonna be some sort of double cross after the match or during the match somehow? Because I could see Roman double crossing Cody during the match and still winning it by himself. Like, just Superman punching his way to victory because he's the GOAT. But fucking, I also think it's a very small percentage, but I feel like there's a chance some involvement from either like a Jimmy Uso or even The Rock or something.
That's crazy.
That like could potentially shake things up going forward. Just the only reason I'm even suggesting something so crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
The only reason I'm even suggesting something so crazy is we got to keep in mind this is Roman's first match since Mania, since losing the title. And since that's such a big deal, who knows, like, everything's on the table because Roman Reigns matches have become now, like, the main attraction of WWE, if we're being honest. As much as I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, and I love Cody because he is so consistent and shows up every week to every single show, every single live event, but because Roman only shows up so often, when he does show up and when he does wrestle, that shit feels like, holy fucking shit, it's Roman Reigns. This is now the biggest deal ever. And because it's such a big deal and it's Roman, who knows what's possible? Everything's on the table. And so that's all I'm saying is that everything is on the table. I don't expect it. Like I said, it's very unlikely. Yeah, but it's just everything is on the table. So what's the prediction for the match? Who's going to win?
For sure, Cody and Roman.
I agree. I do agree. I am very interested to see how much offense Jacob Fatu gets in particular, because obviously he's been a fucking dog.
Definitely the matchup everybody's looking for, Roman and Jacob.
Yeah, that'll be very exciting to see when eventually those two end up in the ring facing off with each other, really throwing down. That'll be a very, very exciting moment.
They better not tease that shit.
Nah, I think they'll give us something. They'll give us at least a bit. They have to. Speaking of hoping they give us something, we have one of the feuds that's been one of the most exciting feuds literally all year in WWE. And here we are now at what's probably going to be the end of the feud. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. And the two matches they've had thus far, if we're being honest, have not fully delivered.
Especially the strap match.
Have not fully delivered. So now we're at kind of the critical moment where it's do or die. You either put on a banger match where the feud gets remembered fondly and
original Hell in a
we look
Cell.
back at this shit exactly as a huge moment in both of these guys' careers, or this goes down in history as one of the most overhyped but underperforming feuds in wrestling history, especially in the Triple H era. This will be one of the biggest fumbles, right up there with the Uso versus Uso at WrestleMania. So I'm very curious. Who do you think is gonna win? Because this shit to me is tough to call. Who do you think got it? Where are you leaning? And why? Because it's a tough one. Oof. I know, right? Valid cases both ways. That's what makes it so difficult.
Drew or CM Punk?
Do you want me to give you my answer first?
You're probably gonna say Drew.
Honestly, I would be very surprised in his first big feud back in the company
They're gonna give him a W?
if CM Punk doesn't win. I think he has to, kinda. I think he kinda has to win. Because it's his first major feud since making his return.
Oh, you think he has to win?
And because he had so many injury problems that have held this shit up, and he's finally having the final moment in his first big rivalry since coming back. If Punk loses, you run the risk of people starting to look at him as being a little bit washed. And I don't think, because he's still so over, like, people chant his name so much, but I guess you just run the risk of maybe not people look at him as washed, because I think people are always going to love CM Punk, but just people not taking him as seriously as a wrestler. You know what I mean? And so I do kind of feel like Punk has to get this dub. And then I also feel like Drew has been so good when he's taken these big losses and he has to come out and, like, reinvent himself, and he's been desperate and, like, really wanting to get those wins. Like, that type of... this big of a loss for Drew, I think, could send him in a really interesting direction with his character. And then with Punk, like I said, I just think that this is the type of big win the guy needs. I don't know, man. How do you feel about that explanation?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be the push for him to go to a championship now or no?
For Punk?
Yeah, because where is he going to go next after he beats Drew, bro?
I don't think so, because Seth Rollins is just recently coming back from injury.
Yeah, okay.
And so obviously there's room for him to get involved there. I think eventually you can start to rope in Gunther, but the way that they've paced out this Drew Punk feud, where it kind of started around literally before the Royal Rumble, I guess, was when Drew injured Punk for real. And that kind of started everything from there. So they've managed to extend this feud from the Royal Rumble all the way to fucking October of this year. So, like, what, like 9-10 months?
Almost a year, bro. Fuck.
I think that if you just slowly add in a couple more players into this feud, we can very easily, with the pace it's been at now, extend it to WrestleMania season with a lot of hype. And potentially then you start to work in Gunther towards that Mania season and do like a fatal 4-way crazy shit for the title with Seth, Drew, Punk, and Gunther. Something like that. Like, that could be awesome. I know that's a lot, but, like, I'm just saying, like, the World Championship picture is so crowded that you can legitimately justify doing shit like that. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be... to answer your question more directly... No, I don't think after this feud he immediately has to get bumped into the title picture. But I think that just speaks to how strong WWE is at the moment, where the title pictures are kind of its own locked up thing. And there's still room for, like, really good feuds outside of that don't need to have belts on the line just to make them interesting. I think that's one of the things we've been seeing a lot lately.
Damian Priest still got his rematch since I got that. I guess that's back now and shit.
Yeah. So there's some shit that, like, we'll just have to see how these championship pictures shake out. But for now, bro, we just gotta wait and see until Bad Blood, bro, this Saturday. See what the fuck happens, bro. Till we crash out.
Oh, no shit, man.
Crash out. Crash.
That's a hard ass song. Shout out to whoever fucking picked it, bro.
It was me.
Man, shit about shit, bro.
It was me. I picked it.
No, you didn't.
You're welcome.
No, you didn't, bro.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, I did.
You don't even know Metro Boomin like that, bro.
Bro, we be chilling. Yeah. Yeah, it's my guy. It's my dog. I fuck with him. Tough.
Bro, you're not Cody Rhodes, bro. Get over it. I already know this fool was probably thinking about being Cody Rhodes for this Halloween, bro.
I have adrenaline in my soul right now. Shut the fuck up. I am the American Nightmare. I am the nightmare.
This was not sponsored by American.
I'm your greatest nightmare.
Whoa.
The American Nightmare.
No. Ain't shit, bro.